Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I finally have another reselling video for you guys. So I'm going to take you through all the sales I made during the end of 2022. So if you want to check out all the sales I made on Poshmark during the end of 2022, definitely keep watching. For those of you who might be new, thanks so much for checking this out. I'm a full-time working mom. In my spare time, I love making videos on fashion, beauty, mommy lifestyle, a little bit of luxury, and a little bit of reselling as well. So if those kind of things sounded all interesting, definitely check out my videos linked down below, and please consider hitting that subscribe button as well. If you are returning, thank you so much for watching another video. Okay guys, so if you've been following my reselling journey, I am a very part-time reseller, as I keep saying on this channel, but it's an amazing hobby for me. I love sourcing, I love shopping, both thrifting and also retail arbitrage. That's really my true passion, I think, so I just really enjoy it. And I love just talking about and seeing fashion. So this is the perfect little hobby for me, and it's an extra bonus that you can make a little bit of extra spending money as well. So I've been totally enjoying this side hustle. I have had to cut back a little bit on my reselling, as I've talked about in recent reselling videos, just because life is getting a little bit hectic. I have 4 kids, I have a full-time job, so things sometimes just get a little bit crazy, as I'm sure they do for all of you as well. So I had to scale back a little bit toward the end of 2022, so my reselling videos have been a lot less frequent recently. But one of my New Year's resolutions for 2023 is to increase my reselling time and energy that I can spend on it. So I have finally, I will say, started listing a couple of products or items on my Poshmark platform, and I'm hoping to cross-list them on eBay, which I have not yet, but I will be doing, and I hope to slowly ramp this up again this year, kind of resurrect it, so to speak, so I am looking forward to that. Nonetheless, I want to share with you guys, for the sake of full transparency, what kind of sales I made toward the end of 2022. So this incorporates approximately 3 months of sales. I'm just going to focus on Poshmark during this video. I will have a follow-up video shortly that I will post, which will show my eBay sales during this period. I wanted to break it up a little bit just so that this video isn't too long. But as I've done before, I'm going to show you every single sale I made during this stretch, because I think we learn from everything, even the bad sales, even the mediocre sales, and even the awesome sales, of course. So I hope you find this kind of video helpful. I'm just going to go ahead and dive into my sales. I had a handful of sales, and again, during the stretch of the end of 2022, I listed nothing. I hadn't listed anything for months. So this is an example of how I was still able to sell through some decent older inventory, despite the fact that I was not active at all on this platform. Alright, so enough rambling. Let's get into the sales. I will put up pictures here, as I always do, and share with you my sales prices. So the first item that sold during this stretch was from Merrell. It was the District Mahana leather backstrap sandal in a size 10. So as you can see here, this was kind of a cute style. It's kind of a basic look, but Merrell is a comfort footwear brand that I think still does pretty well, at least for me. So I definitely consider picking up Merrell. It has to be a good item though. It has to be excellent condition, an item that I think would be popular, like this one, for instance. So I did ultimately sell this for $60. So my net earnings are $48 on this particular pair of sandals, which was excellent for me. So definitely a worthwhile pickup. I think Merrell is a brand that can potentially do well, but I think it really depends on the style. So this next item that sold was from Pilcrow and the Letterpress. The style was called Stet, and it was jeans, as you can see here. This was in a size 29. So I don't believe I paid too much for this particular jean. It definitely had wear, some of it intentional, I would say, but it was an older style of Pilcrow. I probably would not pick this up this day and age or currently, but I did have this as something in my older inventory. So it's always nice when something like this sells, and I believe I accepted a best offer of $24 on this pair of jeans. So my net earnings were $19.20. So for me, I was thrilled, obviously. This was older inventory. This is an item I definitely would not pick up now. So always happy to move this kind of thing along. I still definitely pick up Velcro jeans, but it has to be the newer versions. For instance, the tag will say by Anthropologie. That's a sign that it's a newer version. And the style has to be on trend. So I look for more straight leg or flare type of styles. I think will do extra well now, especially the lighter washes as we head into the warmer months. Those kind of things are what I look for. But this jean really just wouldn't make the cut for me now. So I was happy that it sold. The next item was from this brand called Subo. It was a suede leather mule clog in a size 10. So this one was a little bit of an experiment. I did thrift this item and I had not heard about the brand previously, but when I first found them, they looked like high quality. Sometimes you can just tell. So I often don't look up comps when I'm thrifting, and that's just my personal preference. I know it's bad marketing strategy or business strategy, I should say, but you know, I personally don't find that I enjoy looking up comps, especially when I'm out thrifting. I don't like when people look at me when I'm always looking at my phone. I think it gets suspicious. But more importantly, I think it just takes a lot of time. And for me, I mean, time is so much of an issue, as I've talked about before, that when I'm out thrifting, I like to just go and browse and just go with my gut, go on a whim as to what I think will do well and not. Of course, you know, I definitely don't profit as much as I could on some items because of the strategy, but this is totally a hobby and enjoyable for me. So I don't enjoy looking up comps in the store, so I don't do it. So that's what happened with this one. And when I came home, I realized it had decent comps, so I was happy about that. I mean, you could kind of tell based on the quality. So this one I ultimately accepted a best offer of $42, so my net earnings were $33.60. That was pretty good. It wasn't a spectacular profit margin, but I was definitely happy about this one. This is a brand that I think would potentially do well in the future as well. And I thought the style was kind of cool and trendy. So yeah, definitely something I think worthwhile considering. So the next item here was one of my favorites of this stretch. It was this beautiful down quilted black puffer vest. And the brand was called ADD or ADD. So similar to the last piece I just talked about, when I came across this one, I could tell it was high quality. I saw that it was down-filled, which obviously is nice, and it just looked like good quality. It was an excellent, like new condition. So this one, again, I kind of purchased on a whim, I would say. I hadn't heard about this brand before. When I got home, I mean, the comps honestly probably weren't as good as I maybe was expecting for this type of item, but nonetheless, I was still pleased. I knew I would definitely be able to sell these. So I picked up a few of them, so you'll hear about another one in this video shortly. But this one was in black. It was a size 10. This is the one that sold first. And I sold it for a best offer of $65, so my net earnings are $52 on this particular vest. So I think that's a pretty good profit margin for me. I was excited that I was able to sell this. Again, I think it was an excellent item, and I would definitely consider picking up this again in the future for that reason, especially this time of year. These types of down-filled puffer vests and jackets I think do particularly well. The next item, okay, came up quicker than I thought, but it was the second add down vest. This one though was a little different. It was in more of a charcoal gray color, and it had a hood that you could fold down if you'd like. But it was the same down quilted style and puffer style. This was a little smaller size. It was in a size 8. So this one I sold for a little bit less. I sold it for an offer of $55, so my earnings are $44. I was still happy about that. You know, in general with these type of bulkier items, I do want to try to move them along as quickly as I can because the storage becomes an issue. So I try to sell it in that season if it's appropriate for it. So I was happy to move this one along for sure. Again, I think it's an excellent item. I would definitely pick up these add down pieces if you come across them when you're outsourcing. The next item was a fun pair of strappy sandals from Cole Haan. It had a little espadrille bottom and a mini wedge heel. This was in the size 6.5, and I did source this in a previous thread up rescue box, which I got probably a couple years ago, honestly. So I've been sitting on this for a little bit of time, so I was excited that this sold. It sold in the middle of winter, go figure, but whatever, I will take it. I was happy about this particular item. I believe I sold this for full asking price of $35. My net earnings are $28. Pretty good for an item from a ThredUp rescue shoebox. So happy about that. So I would definitely not source this particular item if I found it out thrifting, but since I got in the rescue box, I was very happy to be able to resell it. All right, the next item was another one of my favorites. I feel like I'm saying that for a lot, but this is a beautiful Free People City of Lights leather heeled booty, but it had a little bit of an open heel, as you can see here, and an open toe. It had kind of a combat look, but it had a heel. Personally, totally my style. I love this kind of look. I wear this kind of shoe a lot. So when I saw this, I was very happy to pick it up. So I did pick this up via retail arbitrage. I paid quite a bit for this. So you always have to be wary of that. But I still was able to profit a decent amount. So again, this was brand new, purchased on my own, in the box, with tags, all of that. So I did accept a best offer of $100. I believe I negotiated a little bit with the buyer on this one. So my net earnings were $80, which was pretty good for me. It wasn't excellent, but definitely worthwhile because I love this shoe. It just made me happy sourcing it and photographing it. So I was happy this sold. I think Free People shoes for retail arbitrage can definitely do okay. You just have to be a little bit selective, obviously, with Free People these days. But this had a lot of things going for it, so I was very happy to pick it up. The next item was another retail arbitrage item, and this was from Vince Camuto. It was called the Francia Foxy Suede Leather Booty, as you can see here. This was in a size 10. I love this style. As you can see, it's just a classic colorway. This taupe tan type of color goes with absolutely everything. It matches a lot of skin tones as well. So I personally live in these kind of booties during the winter and cooler seasons. You can also wear this very easily in the spring and summer months if you style them with dresses or shorts even. So really versatile, I would say year-round type of a shoe. Vince Camuto also is a brand that I think has a decent following. Obviously, it's not super high-end, but a lot of people love Vince Camuto shoes, myself included. I think they put out a lot of trendy styles, really to fit really nicely into wardrobes. So I definitely consider sourcing this if I can find a good deal. So with this particular one, I sold it for $65, so my earnings were $52, which weren't bad. Again, I picked this up on retail arbitrage, so I paid up a little bit, but I still definitely profited. I really like this booty, so I was very happy to be able to source that as well. All right, so the next item was another pair of shoes. It was from the brand Terran Rose. It was called the Chloris style. It was a black suede with some patent detail pump. Very classic style. It's hard to get more classic than this kind of block heel pump, I would say. It had some wear, but not much at all. It was in a size 10. And I did sell it for a best offer of $35. So my net earnings were $28 on this beautiful pair of pumps. So this is, in my opinion, one of the perfect workplace type of shoes. It's very classy, very comfortable to wear. So I often look for this type of shoe if I'm looking for a work type of shoe. So the retail price for Terran Rose shoes are pretty decent as well. So in the resale market, you can make a decent amount of profit reselling it. It's definitely not as good as other brands, but this is a brand if I find out sourcing and it's in good condition with a very either trendy or classic style. Usually it's more classic with this line. I definitely consider it. As you can see here, definitely a decent pickup for me. All right, so the last item that sold during this stretch on Poshmark was this really cool top. It was from Free People line We the Free. It was called the Big Sur Tie-Dye Long Sleeve Top. This was in a size large, in excellent condition. It was more of a fitted style, as you might be able to tell here, but it had kind of a textured knit and ribbing. But look at these tie-dye arms. I thought this was super cool, great for this time of year, even for transitional weather. So I thought this was really cool. So We the Free is a line that I think is a little bit hit or miss. I think it really depends on the style. It obviously has to be in good condition. It doesn't resell for a whole lot, so you have to keep that in mind. So this one sold for $28. And my earnings were $22.40. So that's not a great profit margin, I would say, but definitely worthwhile to consider, especially tops like this when they're really, really easy to store and also to ship out. I think it's worthwhile considering for sure. All right, so there you have it. Those were all the sales I made toward the end of 2022 on Poshmark when I was listing absolutely nothing during that period. So I hope you found this kind of information helpful. It's always good to gather this kind of data, I think, and figure out what's selling for people and what's not, and what works, even if I'm really not active on the platform. But stay tuned for future reselling videos because I'm hoping to revamp or rejuvenate my reselling business. So I hope to take you guys along with me as well. If you are a reseller too, I hope you're making amazing sales. If you have tips or tricks for us, please comment down below. I love this community and I love interacting with all of you. I learned so much as well from hearing your comments too. So please let me know down below what's working for you. Thank you so much for watching another video. Stay tuned for an upcoming What's Sold on eBay video shortly, in addition to other reselling content going forward, if that kind of stuff is what you're interested in. I hope you're staying safe and healthy and your 2023 has gone off to an amazing start. I'll see you again in my next video. Bye.